Good evening and welcome to BBC Newsnight. I am your presenter for this evening, Georgia Jones, and tonight we are bringing you a special edition based purely on miscarriages of justice. Miscarriages of justice have existed for as long as we have had a criminal justice system. But focus really came into consideration because of two cases in the 1980s, that of the Guildford 4 and the Birmingham 6. These two cases opened up the world to miscarriages of justice, and soon the world became obsessed with wrongful convictions. This is evident by legislation enacted to help prevent miscarriages of justice, which we will look at later tonight. Innocence Projects were set up worldwide to help those imprisoned to overturn their convictions. Additionally, books have even been published, such as this one, Stolen Innocence, which encounters the tale of Sally Clark and her miscarriage of justice. We have encountered 6 main causes for miscarriages of justice. The first we will look at tonight will be the police. The police have been known to fabricate evidence or force confessions out of people with a threat of violence. And this is what happened in the Birmingham 6 case. There have also been reports of the police interviewing people for up to 12 hours without a break. Now this is obviously problematic. Someone being interviewed for 12 hours is likely to produce false evidence. This is because they're in a stressful situation, they're tired, and they will say anything to get out of that situation. In 1984, the Police and Criminal Evidence Act was enacted to provide the police with strict guidelines and rules on how to treat a suspect in detention or while being interviewed. It provided guidelines such as how long someone could be interviewed for, and that all interviews must be taped to show true evidence, and that the police cannot fabricate nor use the threat of violence. But does the Police and Criminal Evidence Act go far enough in ensuring that there are no miscarriages of justice? Well, the answer to that is no, because miscarriages of justice are still being reported all over the UK. Additionally, evidence that the police have obtained in breach of the Act or breach of its codes can still be admitted in court. This was seen in the case of Keenan, where it said that exclusion was only for significant and substantial breaches of the Act or the codes of practice. And even then, it was not automatic. So, although the police can no longer obtain evidence through the use of violence, and that pace makes it harder for the police to fabricate evidence, it still doesn't go far enough to prevent miscarriages of justice. The second area of how miscarriages of justice can come about is through experts, such as forensic experts, in handling evidence at the crime scene. Now, the general thought is scientific evidence is more reliable than evidence given by humans, such as in a witness statement or a confession. But we tend to forget that humans are behind scientific evidence. Therefore, it is safe to say that miscarriages of justice can come about through misinterpretation, through human error, or through changes of science. Miscarriages of justice can also happen when handling evidence gathered at a crime scene, such as if that person is not wearing protective clothing, the evidence can get contaminated through the way it travels, how it is locked up, how it is contained. There can be errors in mislabelling, or if the scientist is using faulty equipment. Barristers may also be the cause of a miscarriage of justice, such as not fully disclosing all of the evidence that they have received. The Criminal Procedure and Investigations Act was introduced in our criminal justice system to ensure that all evidence was disclosed to the defence. However, a recent review by the Crime Prosecution Service Inspectorate found that this Act did not have the confidence of criminal practitioners. Again, within the courtroom, miscarriages of justice can come about through the judge and the jury. The judge can misdirect a jury on a certain legal point, and the jury doesn't actually judge on points of law, but on their moral standings. One of the biggest areas for miscarriages of justice can actually come from the outside sources of the media. In a high-profile case, such as a murder or a rape, especially if a young child is involved, the media will hound the person they think responsible, even if there is no concrete ties and that the police have not yet investigated them. This puts pressure on the police to get a quick conviction and can often mislead them to the wrong person, causing a miscarriage of justice. So how do we move on from miscarriages of justice? Well, I think first we'll need to look at how much discretion judges have. They have the ability to still disclose information even if it is in breach of PACE and their codes of practice. I think evidence that is in clear breach of any act or code of practice should be inadmissible straight away. It is not fair on the defendant if the police have acted outside of their authority. There have been suggestions for the criminal justice system to do away with juries, but I think there should be someone in the jury room to maybe direct their verdicts into more law-based verdicts instead of moral verdicts, and so someone is there to see that there is no jury bullying or silly ways in how they actually reach their verdict. One case a long time ago, they actually used a Ouija board to come to their verdict. There have also been calls for our adversarial system to change into an inquisitorial one. This may prevent miscarriages of justice because at the moment courtrooms are like a battleground and barristers are less interested in the welfare of their clients but more interested in who will win. Lastly, the CCRC and appeal system needs a drastic overhaul. At the moment, they are being far too strict in what they are rejecting. We hope that you have found this programme informative, but also moving, and I hope that it encourages you to ask questions about our current legal system. From all of us at the BBC, good night.